Alright, in this video, I want to break down the exact protocol that we are using to scale our clients' offers, to scale overall coaching offers past 30K per month. Okay, and this isn't going to be some crappy VSL. I'm obviously selling something, but this video is made to be purely valuable. It's going to be massive. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but the document is massive. I'm going to cover absolutely everything you need to know. The frameworks in this video, there's an insane amount of frameworks. All this is covered today. This isn't even updated. There's more in this video. And after this video, you should have everything that you need in order to scale to and then past that 30K per month mark. Okay, this isn't going to be a document selling you on another secret funnel or a tactic. This is a full ATZ growth plan that I've created on how anyone can take their coaching business from 0 to 10K per month to scaling it all the way past 20 to 30K per month. And if you want access to this document, I'm giving it away for completely free with all the assets that I'm going to give away. I have setter hiring and training processes. I have our winning ads in here that I want to show you. Plus I have other bonus resources and interviews and frameworks and videos. You can DM me protocol on Instagram and I'll send this document your way for completely free. This document will cover everything you need to know about growing a coaching business past 30K per month consistently. Okay, my goal is to make this more valuable than all the paid programs you've ever been in. And since I don't sell information, but I sell implementation, I'm capable of doing that. Okay, I can give all the information away for free without risking that my business goes broke. And make sure to go all the way through this document. You don't have to consume it all at once, obviously, but literally every single step of the way in this video is super, super valuable. And this is information that coaching coaches typically charge you $8,000 to $10,000 for. And I know because I've been in these programs. Okay, and this is not only information that cost me over 20K in coaching programs and courses over the last 6 months alone, but more importantly, that information has been then implemented in multiple companies, put to the test and verified. But before we actually get into the information, who am I to be telling you all this? Okay, I'm not going to waste too much time on client results because I show them in every single video, but I just want you to see them. Okay, Antonio, 20K a month, our first month from complete zero, 60 days in, 10 clients signed for this offer, 6.5K offer price. It fluctuated from like 4 to 6.5K throughout the entire process, throughout the entire duration of this process. Colton, getting calls for as little as $7, DM closing these same leads, high quality conversations for $1.6 right now from DM ads. Here's a video going over the ads more in depth that you can check out later on. Jeff signed 2 clients in the space of a few days. Adam closing 1.8K piffs, then another 2K and another 2K, and there's obviously more. And then there's us going from 0 to 10K a month in our first 4 months in business. Here's Stripe screenshots as proof. This is in Zloty, but you can check the conversion. It's 1 to 4. This is over 10K. And then obviously many, many more. I'm not going to waste time on this. This is Julian, again, 2 female clients for his fitness coaching offer. We're also merging it with his acupuncture practice right now. And that's going to be very interesting. I want to make a separate video on that later on. But as you can see, everybody's killing it, giving away value so people want to talk after they watch our videos. And once again, giving away literal courses like this video. So we're building a lot of goodwill in the marketplace, okay? For more results, you can check out my Instagram. But right now, if you're having to lower your prices because your prospects see you as a commodity, if you've tried all the marketing tactics out there, but nothing is working as well as it should be, and if you want to focus on actually changing lives with coaching, instead of being forced to become a marketer, to post content all day, to try to learn this industry, which is changing super, super fast. Like the pace of this industry is insane. If you're a coach and you're trying to keep up, I feel sorry for you. You should just be focused on coaching, and this protocol will allow you to do that, okay? If any of these sound like you, if more than one of these sound like you, then definitely this protocol is for you. Okay, and here's exactly what we'll cover. We'll cover how to position your offer to cut through noise, separate yourself from the competition. All these bullet points will be covered. How to choose the right acquisition system for you to bring in qualified sales calls. All this will be covered. And how to use automation to remove yourself from the trenches, regain time, and make your growth inevitable. Okay, all of this will be covered. Okay, but before we start with point 1, I want to cover the state of the online business space in 2024 because I think it's really important to understand where we're at, to see where we may be going, and to see the strategies that are working at this particular moment in time. So obviously the online coaching industry has been on the rise over the past few years, okay? And although this can be a good thing because more problems are being solved, people are making more money, and more people are experiencing the life that they want, it has also come with a lot of negatives, right? One of which is I'd say the main one, is market sophistication. Okay, there's a shit ton of competition, meaning that every single prospect that you're trying to pitch, whether it's through your content, through your DMs, anywhere you're pitching them, every single prospect has heard your exact claim hundreds of times before. Okay, and they see you as a 1 in a million because there's a shit ton of competition out there. Okay, especially for fitness coaches, I'm seeing like millions of fitness coaches. But any coach that you are, you have a lot of competition, and you're probably starting to notice it. Okay, and that means that since you're not unique, your prospects don't really care about you. They just care about the service, and they see every service as exactly the same. Meaning you can't charge high prices. You're forced to drop your prices. You're getting commoditized, charging like $100, $200, $300 a month. And like, how can you change someone's life when you're only charging $100 to $200 a month? Okay, that's just not how it is. And now to counteract this, people are starting to use unique mechanisms, right? And rightly so, because that is what you should do, right? When everyone is the same, you position yourself as different. That is obvious, right? But what the problem with it is is that people are being brainwashed and indoctrinated into believing that there's a universal best way to do something. Okay, best way to run ads, best outreach script, best content cadence. Okay, they end up buying the tactic because they think that it's the secret, because that's how it's positioned. They try it and they realize that there wasn't anything so secret about it, and they move on to the next thing. And they keep trying strategies, and they never see the results that they were after. Okay, sometimes I like to call tactic hopping. Right, and if you are someone who's been either sold a tactic or you are selling a tactic yourself that you bought from another online coach, or you think that there's some best way to run your ad, okay, because that's what you've been taught, this document will provide you with a way out, as well as a new way of thinking about how the game of marketing actually works. Or if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you haven't really been up to date with what's been happening in the space, that's completely fine. This document will also help you a shit ton, okay? And I'm actually kind of jealous they haven't seen what's been going on with this space, because this space is absolutely crazy. But okay, without further ado, let's just dive in. Alright, so part one is how to position your offer to cut through the noise and to separate yourself from your competition. Okay, now that we know that the biggest problem stopping most people from scaling their offers is market sophistication, which leads to commoditization, which means that nobody is listening to what you have to say because everybody else is saying exactly the same thing. The prospects are completely numb to your claims. Okay, and this also means that if right now we run any acquisition, if we start spamming content, if we start sending out cold DMs, if we start running ads, if we do any of these marketing activities, they won't work. If we run ads, we'd be burning money. Okay, because nobody's listening to what you have to say in the first place. Okay, so before we even think about pumping any sort of traffic into our pipeline, we need to get our positioning in place, right? If the ad or the script was the secret, then we would all be millionaires. Okay, but unfortunately, that is not how it works. So when it comes to separating yourself from the competition and actually making sure that you are listened to and heard in the marketplace, in the sea of noise, there are two mechanisms. Okay, one is the core, which is your niche and offer. I'm not going to dwell on this too long because I think this doesn't actually matter that much, and you're going to see why. And then two is the positioning. Okay, so your actual content plus how you brand it, how you communicate your value to the marketplace. Okay, and so let's break these down. So one, starting at the very, very beginning, is your niche and your offer. Okay, now contrary to popular belief, I don't think that this is actually how you stand out in the marketplace. Choosing a niche to go after, choosing a group of people to go after, it's not, you're not going to stand out. I see people changing their niche to, busy professionals helping busy professionals lose weight, or whatever niche you're in. If you choose a different subsection of the market, that is not going to make you stand out. Okay, it's what you actually say in the content that's going to make you stand out. Okay, not what you have in your bio. Okay, if your whole brand isn't around a certain individual, then changing your one-liner won't do anything. Okay, every niche is saturated, by the way. There's no such thing as an easy niche. Every niche sucks, and you have to be the one to make it work. I heard that off someone, can't remember who it was, but it's a very valid quote. Okay, and in most markets, your offer has already been pitched, and the claims related to it have been exaggerated to the point nobody believes in them, right? You've seen the claims like lose 30 pounds in freaking 10 days, right? Lose 40 pounds in 5 days. Maybe I'm over-exaggerating this, but nobody believes in those claims anymore. Okay, especially if your claim results don't align with the claims. If you're claiming to be capable of adding 100k to somebody's business, but you've never done it before, then who are you to do that? Okay, your claims have to be realistic and backed up by the results that you've achieved in the past. But the way to actually eliminate competition and position yourself in a blue ocean is through your positioning and messaging, okay, not through your niche and your offer, which is represented by your content, okay, but I'll get into that later. However, your offer and niche are still something we need to go through since they are the foundation of your business, and if you get this wrong, everything else will be more difficult later on. Okay, so your niche, you probably have your niche, it's probably fine, but I just want to mention this is full, literally A to Z. Okay, the framework that we use to find a niche that will allow us to squeeze the most juice out of everything we do from here on out is very simple. Okay, you look at your case studies, you look at your story, and you look at your existing audience, what you've built, and then you determine your niche based off of that. Okay, if your case studies are if your case studies are nurses and your story is a nurse, but you've somehow built up an audience of male business people, which won't happen because you attract who you are anyway, but let's just say hypothetically that was the situation, then this isn't an alignment. We want this to be an alignment. Okay, and if I were to choose two of the most important components, you look at your case studies and your story, and you try to align these. Everything starts from your story, and then you look at your case studies, okay, and you would try to make these two align. If you were fat, and if you're a fat man, and you helped a lot of fat men lose weight, then that is going to be your niche. No matter what sort of audience you've built, you want to switch to this because this is literally the core. Okay, this can be a deciding factor if you're not sure which one to go with, but for the most part, just look at your story, look at your case studies, and from there you choose who to actually go after. So basically, I'm not going to tell you to pick a certain niche. Every niche sucks, but the best niche is the one that you in particular have the most leverage in. And leverage comes from these three components. Okay, your story, because that's how you're going to resonate with the marketplace, your case studies, because that's how you're going to build trust with the marketplace and authority with the marketplace, and then your existing audience is something that we can attach on, because if you already have an audience of a certain kind, that means that you attract these people. and if these people are actually engaging with your content, that means that they would maybe probably buy something something if you sold them that thing. Okay, so these are the 3 components that we want to look at. From there, you choose your offer, and then from there, you choose your niche, sorry, and then you're going to choose your offer. If you're a beginner and you don't have case studies, experience, or an audience, then the niche you choose shouldn't really matter. Okay, you just from that point, you literally just go off of your story. Okay, but if you literally do not have a story and you're a complete beginner in the space, then you should not be selling coaching, period. Okay, so you're always going to have something to go off of. Okay, the best niche is the one that you understand the best and that you can spend the next 10 years helping without getting shiny object syndrome and feeling, okay, I'm going to switch niches, because that doesn't really matter. Okay, and then after you have your niche, that's when we're going to choose your offer. Okay, you don't want to start with your offer, you want to start with your niche. And then once you have the people that you're helping, that is when we're going to decide what to actually sell to these people. So what we want to do is first we want to find the niche, which we just did. Then we can determine the main pain points of that market through market research. You want to see, okay, I'm helping I'm helping fat dads. What is their pain? You find that pain through market research, and then you can build your offer specifically around these pains. Okay, to fulfill that demand that already exists, and you know it exists because you literally asked the people. Okay, so you determine your niche, find the biggest pains, present the offer that solves that problem, and then you build a product around the offer. Okay, we already have step 1. Now we just got to find the biggest pains and desires of that niche and choose turn the most prominent one into our offer. Okay, assuming you follow the instructions when choosing your niche, unless you're a complete beginner, you probably already have the necessary data about your niche to find that one key outcome, right? For fitness coaches, it's going to be losing weight or building muscle, depending on your niche. Okay, for relationship coaches, it's going to be getting in a relationship. For performance coaches, it's going to be increasing your level of output. For B2B, it's going to be calls booked, the revenue generated. For roofers, it's going to be roof replacement jobs, etc. You probably get the point. But if you're having trouble figuring out that key outcome of your niche, then here's how you can find it using ChatGPT market research. Okay, this is coming soon. I haven't recorded that video yet, but I want to record it, and I'm going to record it, and I'm going to drop it in here. So DM me protocol on Instagram to get this document, and I'll also let you know when this video drops. Okay, but once you find that mass desire of your niche, that is literally your offer. Okay, your offer is literally just a promise. Okay, your product is the actual vehicle that's going to get these people there. Okay, and that's what we're going to build in the next stage. Right, pop a statement of who you help and how you help them in your Instagram, YouTube bio, and then you're ready to rock and roll. Okay, that is literally your offer. Right, but in terms of having a risk reversal or a guarantee, if you don't have any client results yet, like if you haven't even achieved the outcome that you're helping somebody achieve, like let's say you are a relationship coach and you're not in a relationship, then having some form of risk reversal is a must. I wouldn't even go into that niche if you're not good at what you do, obviously. But if you have a case study that is you, then you're already pretty much good to go. And that's the beauty about a coaching space, because you're helping someone achieve the outcome that you've achieved before. Okay, so you don't actually need that many case studies. You is enough. If you have clients, that's a bonus. Okay, my preferred form in B2B is working on performance to get case studies and then going into retainers and one-time fees. Okay, if you're in B2C, so helping people who are in businesses, that means that you're a coach or consultant, so you do have client results because the case study is you. And if you are not the case study, if you are a fitness coach who's not in insane shape, then you're probably not going to do that well in the space. I'm sorry. You can have insane knowledge, but if you haven't followed your own advice to get in shape, then I'm sorry, but it's not going to happen. Okay, and now the last thing we want to do before we start getting into the fun stuff, which is actually getting clients and marketing and then automating and all that cool stuff, is your product. Okay, I'm probably going to add like that thing on screen at the start of this video saying that like if you have your niche, if you have your offer, if you have your product, just skip ahead. But this is for more the beginners, or if you already have all these stuff but you're still watching, then I appreciate it. I hope you're getting value from what I'm saying here now. I hope I'm changing the way you think about stuff. Okay, but once you have your market, who you're selling to, and you know what the outcome that you're promising them is going to be, then you can start building a product, aka the vehicle that's going to get your client from where they are to where they want to go. And now your product is probably the most important part of any online service-based business, in my opinion. Okay, due to the sophistication of the market and the low barrier to entry, client results are literally the factor that separates experts from beginners. Right now, there's less trust between people in the space than there has ever been before. Okay, and that is because there are many, many beginners in the space who, frankly, can't deliver a service. Okay, which means that if you have client results, that is going to be your factor that allows you to separate yourself from these people. Okay, and I think client results are absolutely key, especially in the space that we're in right now, where everybody is, offering is putting out insane claims, putting out insane offers, and never actually delivering. Okay, insane guarantees, never actually delivering. If you have client results, that is how you're going to be able to separate yourself from these beginners who have absolutely no clue what they're talking about. Moreover, I would say that the quality and volume of client results that you have is directly proportional to the amount that you can charge from your offer. Okay, the better your client results and the more you have, the more you can charge. Okay, you could sell the exact same product to somebody else, but if they have way more client results than you, they're going to be able to charge you way, way more for that offer. Okay, and that offer is actually much more valuable because those people have actually been there and they've done it. Okay, so you want to start getting client results straight away. Okay, what I found is that getting killer client results, aka building the best product, comes down to two mental models that you can use. Okay, one is the growth formula, which is the fact that rate of learning times rate of change is what growth is, right? And what we want to do is we want to allow our clients to experience the most growth as possible from our service, okay, or from our product or from our coaching. So what we want to do is we want to focus not only on the rate of learning, although we want to make that exceptional, but also on the rate of change, okay? And I think that this is what coaches struggle with a lot, okay? It's just like accountability, but that's it. But the more done with you elements and more even done for you elements you can put into your offer, you can add into your offer, the more valuable your offer will be, the better the client results will be, because your clients will grow more because you're helping them out with the actual rate of change. Okay. And then two is the iteration cycle. So literally you get feedback from customers, you ask them questions, you identify something that you can improve that the clients aren't that happy about, or maybe they are happy, but it just could be skyrocketed. You design an experiment, so you form a hypothesis around what would solve that issue that your clients are facing, and then you conduct the experiment and you collect data, and then you ask your clients if that fixed the issue. Okay, if it didn't, you keep designing experiments until it fixes the issue. Okay, you keep iterating on the product. Okay, and you do that through getting clients in, and then asking these clients questions about what they actually want. Okay, I recorded a full video breaking down these two mental models. I don't want to go too deep into this now, but you should get the basic idea from this. Okay, if you're interested in learning more, obviously watch that video. Okay, but now we finally have the core in place, and we are ready to start getting into the fun stuff. Okay, so two is the positioning, right, which is the messaging, the content, and the branding. Okay, having an offer and a product that's really cool and actually delivers results to clients is one thing. All right, but now we actually have to communicate the value that we provide to the marketplace in a way that is different to everybody else so that we are actually listened to. Okay, and that positions us uniquely to all of our competitors. Okay, and this is how we actually escape commoditization. So let's start with messaging. Okay, how to sell your offer for 10 times more what everybody else is charging. Okay, if you're currently stuck facing commoditization, that means you are struggling to charge high ticket prices for your offer, right? So before we get into the content, I want to cover the base of your entire brand messaging. Okay, this portion of the document is going to show you exactly how you can take your current offer or how your current offer actually appears to these people and take it from this Yugo charging $200 a month and take it to something resembling more of a Ferrari Italia without anyone questioning you. And as soon as that happens, what's going to happen is you're going to start to attract the highest quality clients, which means you're going to get better client results because the best clients always get the best results. And in turn, you can dominate your market. Okay, because if you charge high ticket, you get insane results and you dominate your market. That is literally how it is. Okay, if you charge low ticket, you charge $200 a month, you're not going to change anyone's life. You're not going to make an impact. You're not going to have any client results. And you're not going to make money, so it's a lose-lose situation. Whereas if you charge high ticket, it's a win-win. And I'm going to show you exactly how you can actually charge high ticket and still have people buy. Okay. Now what I found is that the price you can charge depends on three key variables. Okay, and that is level of value, level of pain, and level of differentiation. Okay, and I'm going to break each one of these down for you and show you exactly how you can implement it so that you can actually charge high ticket. Okay, so one is level of value. All right, this is the most basic and most talked about factor. This is basically Alex Hormozi's value equation. Okay, the more value you provide to the market, the more you can actually charge. Okay, it's very, very simple. And to add more value, we can use Alex Hormozi's value equation. Okay, so here's the framework. You want to give people what they want, right? So base your offer off of your niche and make sure that you actually do market research to find out what people want. Right, this is more important in B2B. In B2C, people's desires are very, very simple. Okay, but you want to give people what they actually want, right? You want to make it surer, so build trust through content and through social proof. Okay, you want to make it easier for these people to achieve it, which is once again going into that, helping them out with the rate of change, and doing more done for you stuff, and also in your marketing, making it appear as easy, right? Easy sells, and then making it faster. Okay, the faster you can deliver an outcome, the more valuable your offer is. But apart from the value equation, something that I don't hear a lot of people talking about that is also equally, if not more important, is asking themselves the question, does my product bridge the full gap from where my prospect is right now to where they want to go? Okay, if the answer to that is no, that means you are leaving money on the table. Okay, both in terms of how much you can charge because of the perceived value of your offer and in the leverage that you lose by delivering subpar results to your clients. Okay, if your client's current state is here and their desired state is here, and offer A is your offer and it only bridges half of the gap, then your client results won't be as good. You won't be able to charge as much because people can see that the offer isn't that good, or that the product isn't that good, sorry. And you're forever going to be stuck being commoditized, okay? Because you just sell deliverables, but you don't sell a desired state, okay? Or you sell a desired state, but you've never actually gotten somebody there. What we want to build is we want to build the product that is needed to get someone to their desired state, okay? Right now, if you're just selling workout programs or courses or just consulting, you aren't bridging the whole gap, right? AKA, you're not providing your clients with the solution that they are seeking. Right? They may buy because they think it's going to help them, but it's not going to get them from where they are to where they actually want to go. It may just bridge half the gap. And when you do that, you miss out on both money and client results and impact, ultimately. Okay, so to charge high ticket, your product must bridge the full gap from your client's current state to their desired state. Okay, for example, let me tell you this. Okay, I used to sell short form content. Okay, I was doing video editing, I was doing video ideas, and I was selling hooks. Okay, but I was stuck because the mechanism I was using to get results from my clients wasn't bridging the full gap. Okay, what about converting the attention that I brought? Okay, my clients didn't want views. Nobody wants views. Okay, what people, well, maybe they want views if their ego is super, super inflated, but even if they just want views, they're not going to stick with you for long. Okay, because they're not just going to pay for views, right? What they want is they want calls and they want clients, ultimately, right? So what I need to do is I need to think about converting the attention that I brought in, right? But also, what if my client's offer sucked? And no matter how much attention I converted into calls, he couldn't close, right? Because, for example, either he sucked at sales or his offer sucked, or there was some other issue that stopped him from experiencing the outcome that he wanted to experience. Okay, and what about the backend, the whole entire infrastructure of his business that is required to work well for you to literally make money? Okay, there's so much little nuance that goes into taking someone from stranger to sale. Okay, if any one aspect of that isn't dialed, and if I don't help with all these aspects, then ultimately I didn't deliver the outcome. Okay, so I rebuilt my product into something that bridges the whole gap. Okay, and the breakdown of this product is, I guess, the document that you're reading right now. Okay, it's not necessarily a product breakdown, this video, but it's literally a breakdown of the whole entire process. And guess what? Now I can charge way more because I'm delivering a full transformation. Okay, so if you're not delivering a full transformation, then that is literally step one. Okay, if your clients aren't getting results, then that is step one. Okay, figure out why they're not getting results and improve those results. That's going to help your marketing exponentially. Then the second factor that determines how much you can charge is the level of pain. Okay, if there's no problem being solved, then there's no sale. Okay, and the larger the problem, the larger the sale will be. Okay, and the way we magnify pains and desires is by speaking about them in our content to make our prospects more aware of them. Okay, when they hear someone like you, for example, as a coach, talking about their pains and their desires all the time, the pain and desire is naturally going to become bigger and more prominent because they simply have to face it. They're not able to run away from it anymore because you're talking about it a lot. Okay, and they're watching you because you're giving them value. Okay, and when you are the person that's speaking about these pains and desires, you're naturally the person your prospect is going to go to for the solution that they need when they want that problem solved, when they're ready to have that problem solved. Marketing is all about answering the question, how does the market feel? Okay, whoever can answer that question best in their marketing wins. So what we want to do is you want to speak to these pains as best and as deeply as you can. I want you to think of your content as the vehicle that gets your prospects to feel understood. Okay, because once they feel understood, they're going to book a call. And then on the call, that is where we make them understand how our process can help them get to where they want to go. Okay, you can do that in your content too, but content is primarily making the prospect feel understood. Okay, and showing them that you're capable of solving the problems that they're facing. And now, how do you actually speak to these pains and desires? You could see these two videos, and I recommend you do. However, I'm also going to cover this later on in this document. I'm literally covering everything, as I said. Okay, and then 3 is the level of differentiation. This also impacts massively how much you're able to charge. Okay, you will always be forced to compete on price against people you are similar to. And competition is obviously the enemy when it comes to any form of marketing, okay, because it leads to commoditization. So what you want to do is you want to appear different. Okay, and here are some of the different techniques. Okay, you have your USP, which is basically an angle or a position that you take in the market in order to find your corner of people that resonate with that claim. I know it's a lot of words, but it's basically a main selling point that you have that nobody else has. So for example, for me, it's bespoke, custom, done for you work that bridges the whole gap from where you are to where you want to go. Okay, that is my mechanism. Okay, your mechanism can be, if you have Liver King, he's all about liver, he stands out. Okay, you have Carnivore MD, carnivore diet, unique mechanism, stands out. Nobody else pushes it like him. Okay, most people in red oceans don't have this. Okay, USP can be your unique mechanism, a part of your product, so the actual deliverables. This is, for example, if you deliver something a very specific way. So, for example, I don't know, follower ads could be your unique mechanism. That is super, super overplayed, but it's the most basic example. Or it could be the way you deliver a product. Okay, so the vehicle model. Okay, so what you actually do to help the clients experience the transformation. And this is basically DIY, done. So don't do it yourself, done with you, and then done for you. So for example, if you're in the coaching space and you find a way to make your offer super, super hands-on and almost done for you, right? Like you actually go to the gym with the person, you do so much for that individual, that is literally going to be your USP. Okay, obviously you're going to have to niche down to more local. However, you're going to be able to charge a shit ton, and you're going to be extremely unique from the coaches that just do online or that just do I'll give you a program and I'll give you accountability. Okay, what you actually do to deliver your product So the actual, I mean, these are very similar. Okay, what you actually do to deliver your product in terms of, is it done with you? Is it do it yourself, or is it done for you? That can be your unique mechanism as well. Okay, or your USP. Also, having an enemy, insanely important. Okay, to be perceived as different, you need to have an enemy to contrast yourself against. Right, so show your enemy's solutions flaws, position yourself as unique. So my enemy is, I mean, kind of B2B coaches selling the exact same tactics and funnels, but more so right now, it's copy and paste agencies that just do the same thing, or agencies that come in and they literally just run your ads, and you never see results, and you're curious why. It's because you just ran an ad, and as I said, the ad is not the secret. Okay, or agencies that come in and they just do copy paste the exact same process for every single client. I don't like that. My stuff is fully custom, and then I also bridge the full gap. I don't just run ads. Okay, and that is who I'm contrasting myself against. Something else that's super important is literally just connecting with your audience and sharing your beliefs, right? Because you are the only thing that's irreplaceable. So use you. Okay, the more you can connect with your audience, the more they will trust you, the more they'll like you, and that means that they are more likely to buy from you, right? Your hobbies, thoughts, pastimes, pets, literally anything that resembles you that nobody else has, share it. Okay, people buy from people that they like, and the more competition is out there, the less people are starting to focus on how good a mechanism is, and the more people are starting to focus on whether they like the personality of a certain person, especially in the coaching space, which is super, super emotional and super, super based on literally just liking the coach. Okay, so share literally everything you have. Okay, there's going to be someone who's going to resonate with that, and that is why they're going to buy from you and nobody else. Okay, it's a personal brand after all, right? Overweight men, single women, or online coaches aren't the niche. You are the niche. Okay, that's how I want you to think about it. Sharing your personal stories, very similar to my previous point, but this is especially crucial if you're a coach, since you've literally gone through what your prospects are going through right now. So you want to share your story of where you were, where you are now, and how you actually bridge that gap for yourself. And that's going to, as I said before, build that connection, but not only build that connection, it's also going to, position you as different because nobody else has your story. Okay, and it's going to make your prospects believe that you can actually help them because you're showing them how you helped yourself. So it's a win-win. Literally share your personal stories, share what you did to get to where your prospects want to be. Now, we have just been through loads, so I know that may be a lot to take in. Here's a video breaking literally these concepts down, more step by step, more slowly, more in depth. This was an overview. I hope that you got something out of it, but if you're looking for more, obviously there's a video here. Okay, I'm gonna sort of refer you to other videos on my channel because I think that this is sort of like the main hub that you need to learn everything that you need to know. However, these videos is what is going to actually make your understanding of all these concepts complete. Okay, if that makes sense. Not to say that this doc isn't complete, but these will just expand your understanding of everything that I'm going to be talking about. Okay, and now that we have our offer, we have our niche, we have our product, we have our messaging, now it's time to actually start communicating that messaging through content. Okay, and now you've heard me talk about content a lot. I actually have a full masterclass coming out on content soon. But basically what I found is that all the best content types, all the best content strategies, all the best, marketers who do content, which is pretty much every single marketer, all of them base their strategies and base their content strategy off of human psychology. What I found is that everybody is focused on the wrong things. Okay, everyone is looking for the perfect script, the best wording, but what is actually the most important is literally just being in line with human psychology. Okay, and that will make people want to listen to you. Okay, because when we boil it down, content really only serves two purposes. Okay, to build a human connection and to demonstrate competence to solve a problem. Okay, and both of these purposes require you to be an actual genuine human being, right? So don't be robotic. And that is the opposite of reading off of a script that you spend hours and hours perfecting. Okay, your video will just seem like an ad, you will seem like a robot or a scammer. So when you literally have a script in front of you and you do not go off of that script for a single word, you sound extremely robotic, you sound like a scammer. Okay, you want to come across as genuine, which means they're gonna have to, free flow a little bit sometimes. Okay, and that's completely fine. Okay, as long as the principles are in place, you're completely fine. You're gonna do better than the guy who has, a big whopping ass script in front of him and he doesn't defer from it at all. And I'll get into the practicalities for content in a bit, but before I do, we need to understand the two mental models that will serve as our foundation for what we'll cover later on. Okay, and these two models are the 25 cognitive biases from Charlie Munger and then your brain structure. Okay, I want to go over these really, really briefly, but hopefully it's going to help you out a lot. Okay, so Charlie Munger, if you don't know who Charlie Munger is, he passed away unfortunately a couple of months ago, but he was a multi-billionaire. He was the vice chairman of Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's business partner basically, and he talked a lot about the 25 cognitive biases, which are 25 triggers that we as humans have that drive emotional engagement and change. Pretty much, if we want to change a behavior, we got to focus on these biases. Okay, and these are things like, you know, reciprocity, consistency bias, social influence bias, affinity bias, confirmation bias. There are 25. These are the main ones that I've sort of put in here in this little graph for you to visualize. But basically, each one of these principles or each one of these biases gives us something that we can actively implement in our content. Okay, reciprocity bias, we want to give a shit ton of value. Okay, social influence bias, so we want to show a lot of social proof. Okay, liking, love, and tendency, affinity, we want to share personality, and affinity, this is a big one, we want to show that we are just like the prospect. Okay, that we were just like the prospect, and show them transformation that we've overcame. As a coach, this is absolutely huge. Okay, if you can very accurately describe where you used to be, in contrast with where you are now, and then show them the literal path that you've walked, then that is going to put in motion the affinity bias and make your prospect trust you and like you and know you a lot more. Okay, simply because we're leveraging this one bias. We also have the confirmation bias, which plays a role in our belief shifting strategy, and also you got to share your personal beliefs too, because you know it's going to draw people who think the same way as you think closer to you, right? And it's gonna, you know, it's being polarizing is what it is. Okay, and that is hugely important, especially in such a competitive market. Okay, and then lastly, stimulating the neocortex. I'll also dive deeper into this in a second in the brain structure part, but basically this means that we got to be using different words to everybody else. Okay, if we say the same shit as everybody else is saying, we're gonna get the same results, and we're gonna appear as exactly the same, right? And right now everybody's charging $100 a month for coaching. It doesn't make any sense. We want to position ourselves as a new opportunity. We want to position ourselves as different to everybody else. Okay, and when multiple of these are engaged at the same time, so when we do all these, for example, in one Instagram reel, then what happens is we get the Lollapalooza effect, meaning that the effects of all these build upon each other, and we are way more likely to actually drive that emotional change that we want to drive. Okay, to learn more about the biases, you can click here, which is literally a page that I have linked with 25 biases. I'm not sure if this is going to load, but it's basically a really brief description of all the biases, and you can literally immediately see, oh, okay, this is amazing, I want to use this in my content. Okay, that is literally what I've done, and it's what I help all my clients do, and it works like a charm. Okay, because it's literally psychology. It's not tactics. It's not something that, you know, your favorite guru came up with. It's psychology. Okay, and then two, the second principle is going to be your brain structure. Okay, a lot of people make themselves completely invisible in the marketplace because they don't understand this one thing. Okay, your brain consists of 3 parts. Neocortex is the logical part. The only way for the neocortex to even see the information that, you know, you speak to someone, the only way for the neocortex to actually care deeply about the information that is being presented, which we want the neocortex to care because it's rational and it's thinking, and it's how people are going to rationalize their decisions, okay, is if it goes through the limbic and reptilian brain, okay, and these brains are both emotional. So what we want to do is we want to be extremely emotional at the start of our marketing to bypass these 2 brains, and then we want to justify with logic. Okay, so that means we start off with a big claim, then we justify it with claim proof. Okay, we want to start off with a big claim, then we want to spend a long time rationally breaking down our process and showing exactly why it works after we've already engaged the brain emotionally. Okay, that is the key. We want to start off emotionally, then we want to transition over to logic. And the way that I implement this is, since Instagram is where I run my acquisition, you know, all outbound, all ads, that is all through Instagram. I'll focus on building a connection, trust, and showing client results, being more emotional on here and shifting more beliefs. And then YouTube is where you get these massive masterclasses that I'm dropping that are super long. And, you know, here you build a way deeper connection with me. I give you way more value. So that's engaging the reciprocity bias. And I'm rationalizing that I know what I'm talking about and that I'm actually capable of helping you solve your problems if you do decide to work with me. Okay, that is basically how this works. Right now it may seem a little confusing. Here's once again a video that you can check out that goes over these biases and goes over the brain structure more in depth if you choose to check it out. Okay, and now we get to the last pillar for content that I wanted to talk about because I think it's very important, but it's also one that is not talked about that much and that a lot of people get wrong. Okay, and it's basically lead generation versus lead nurture. Okay, so content obviously has 2 objectives, right? It's to get more leads and it's to nurture the leads and convert them into calls and into clients. Okay, and these are equally important, right? But right now I want to talk about how you can actually get the best of both worlds, get both of these without sacrificing the other, while focusing more on lead nurturing, because I think that is what content works best, but also while getting all the lead generation benefits too. Okay, good news is we don't need to sacrifice one for the other. Okay, and that is what I'll show you in this video, because most people think it's, oh, you know, I want to generate leads, but then it's not going to nurture. Nope, you can actually, you know, you can actually have both effects work at the same time. And the way that we do this is by focusing the actual content, right? So what we say itself on lead nurture, speaking directly to your market. And then we optimize the content packaging for lead generation, right? Which is the thumbnails, the titles, the hooks, the editing, right? Short form hooks. We optimize that for volume, right? On the front end to get people to, you know, click and watch, or stay, or not scroll and watch. And then the actual content itself is what is focused on lead nurture. In the actual content itself, we want to be providing a shit ton of value and then selling the implementation and establishing a human connection, which is basically parasocial interaction, which basically means that people can't tell between interacting with someone in person and through a screen. Like, you can tell if I'm, obviously you know that I'm on your screen, right? However, your brain subconsciously doesn't differentiate between me being on your screen right now and me being in your room right now. Okay, this is super, super powerful. So we want to also establish human connection to the content. Okay, and then for lead generation, it's editing in the first 30 seconds to increase retention. It's SEO optimized titles. It's clickable thumbnails. It's all the sort of packaging. Okay, it's all your hooks. All right, now we're through the frameworks. You probably understand everything. I hope you understand everything. Now we're going to get into the actual strategies. I want to show you my exact content strategy. Okay, and as I mentioned before, I focus on creating content on two main platforms. As I mentioned, right here, Instagram, YouTube. Okay, and I mean, the reasons are very, very simple. Instagram is the best short form platform. It has stories. It has Meta, which is the best advertising engine on earth, and it has very, very easy DMs. Right, on Facebook, it's much harder to engage with someone through the DMs. TikTok, same thing. Instagram is just the best in that regard, and most people are building their brands on Instagram anyway, so that is best, right? Plus, it has more users than every other social media platform except for Facebook. And then YouTube is long form, right? And long form is huge. Okay. I post on YouTube because it's a must to scale in 2024, and I post on Instagram because that is where I get most of my clients through, as well as all the reasons that I just mentioned. Okay. I could try being omnipresent and posting on places like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. But personally, I see that spending the same time working on a YouTube video or working on my product will yield a higher ROI for me. Okay, simple scales, fancy phase. I can't be bothered posting on all the platforms, to be honest. Okay, especially since I don't really see myself getting any clients or any traction through platforms like Twitter, maybe yes, and I do post tweets sometimes, just on my overall thoughts. Okay, but on platforms like TikTok or platforms like Facebook or even LinkedIn, I don't really see people resonating with me on those sort of platforms, so I just don't post there. Okay, if there's no need for additional complexity, I'm not going to add it. Okay, to maximize ROI spent, I recommend posting minimum 2 YouTube videos a week. Right now, I'm pivoting to more of a 1 to 2 YouTube videos a week. So probably like 2, 3 videos every 2 weeks. Hopefully more, but right now I'm focused on creating these massive YouTube videos, seeing how that goes. Really long videos, really valuable videos. And then 2 to 4 reels per week on your relevant platform of choice. Okay, right now I'm also going ham. I'm trying 7 reels a week. We're going to see how that goes. Okay, and I'll obviously update you guys if anything changes in this, and I'll update this document if anything changes. But right now, I just think staying kind of active on Instagram and running ads to get clients, and then running content to actually convert instead of to get leads, I think that is the play. Okay, and then YouTube is obviously YouTube. It's a must. Okay, and if your relevant platform of choice is Instagram, which I mean I recommend it to be Instagram. I think it should be Instagram. I think there's no reason for you to be using anything but Instagram. Then 5 stories per day. I personally don't post 5 stories because I just can't be bothered. However, if you're really trying to print through Instagram, if Instagram is really, really huge for you, and I probably should be doing this too, 5 stories a day, even more, to be honest. Like, if you look at guys like Wes Watson, he's posting like 20 stories a day. The more stories you post, the more money you're gonna make. It's literally a linear graph between how many stories you post and how many clients you sign through Instagram. Okay, but to be honest, I just rather lock myself in a room and not post stories and focus on building these massive documents than post stories. I'm not really a guy that likes to be super, super active and super, super on my phone all the time. But if you're able to and you want to, then 5 stories per day, it helps a lot. At the time that I was doing that, I did see very good growth. Okay, and for an in-depth breakdown of this strategy, as well as our frameworks for content ideas and Instagram stories SOP, you can check this video. But for those of you all that are low on time, here's a cheat sheet. Okay, Instagram stories SOP. If you want to actually do 5 stories, then here's how I'd recommend doing it. Wake up, client work story, gym post, any thoughts you have, and then a CTA post 1 to 2 times per week, giving away some form of asset or just client wins stacked in a post. And then the next post is like, hey, DM me if you want these results. Okay, that is literally all you need to do if you want a really simple and effective stories SOP. And then here is the content matrix. You've probably heard me talk about it, and I'm going to go way deeper into this in pillar 3. But it's basically all your different sources of content that your prospect can bounce around in. Okay, you have your Instagram DMs, Instagram content, YouTube content, your lead magnets, your VSL on your landing page, you have your email, SMS, your private community, all these different sources. This is where your prospect is going to be bouncing around in. I put it here because I covered it in this video, and I said this is a cheat sheet, so I'm actually putting it here. But this will be broken down way more in depth in pillar 3. And that is all you need to know about content. Okay, I also have a separate content masterclass dropping soon. As I said, that is going to go super in depth into actually ideating all the videos and everything like that. I also go into this in this video over here, but that video is going to be mad. Okay, it's going to go into literally every single concept you can think of about, creating content. But now that we have the content in place, it's time to actually start getting into our acquisition and how we're actually going to be bringing clients in and, putting this content to use. Okay, now we have the offer, we have the positioning, and we have the content dialed in. We can move to client acquisition. Okay, and this is where we're actually going to start making money. Okay, this is how we're going to bring in the traffic that we need, convert this traffic into qualified appointments, and then how we're going to close those appointments to sign the client. Now, solving client acquisition is the first and the most important problem that any service-based business needs to solve. Okay, if you can't get qualified appointments on demand, then it's going to be very difficult for you to actually scale. Okay, what we want to do is we want to solve acquisition. Once we solve it, it's literally done, and then we move on to higher level problems like potentially building a team if you're super high level, but mostly it's going to be automating and it's going to be scaling to actually be able to fulfill the demand that your client acquisition is going to bring you. But we're going to cross that hurdle when we get to it. Let's actually start getting appointments first, because most of you guys are booking like 2 to 3 calls by just posting reels on Instagram. Okay, we want to change that. There are effectively 3 stages in taking someone from a stranger to a paying client. Okay, and that is from a stranger to an engaged lead, from a lead to a sales call, and then from a sales call you close them and they become a client. Okay, of course we could break this down further, and that's what I'm going to do, but for now this is the basic overview. Okay, and now we're actually going to dive deeper. All right, so turning a stranger into an engaged lead, that is step 1, and this the one that most of you guys need the most help with, because right now you do not have many engaged leads at all. Maybe you have like, I don't know, like 10 per month, 30 per month. We want to have multiple engaged leads every single day that are ready to hop on calls with us. Okay, so this is the first problem that we need to solve. Okay, and every one of your marketing efforts is going to start with you finding a stranger, and then for you having to interrupt the pattern that they were going through and gain their interest. Once you gain their interest and they're interested, that is when we can call them an engaged lead. And there are only effectively 3 ways to do this. Okay, you can have cold outbound, which for agencies I like, for coaches not quite so much. You have organic content, which most of you are doing without any success, and then you have paid advertising, which is what we recommend all of our clients do. Okay, how to choose the right traffic system for you. Before you ask me which one of these systems is the best, there's no best one. The best one is the best one for you. Although for most of you, if you already have proof of concept and you're already getting clients in, it's going to be paid advertising. It's literally just a matter of, setting everything up right and then just putting more eyeballs onto your offer, right? As soon as you're selling, as soon as you've proved that the market actually resonates with you, as soon as you've gone through pillar 1 and you have that dialed in, you can actually start going with paid advertising. But, these are obviously still options. And if you're more of a beginner, these are the ones you're going to want to go. The main thing when choosing a specific funnel is that you take into account your points of leverage. Okay, so do you have case studies? If you have case studies, okay, what is your audience? Do you have capital to invest into something like ads? What is your current revenue? What is your niche, right? B2C is very different from B2B in terms of the funnels that you want to run. What is your expertise? What is your brand about? Do you have relevant content around a specific topic, right, that we can use? And then what is your offer? All these different things are going to create different acquisition channels. Okay, that is why I don't like to just sell a specific funnel, because it's not going to be the best choice of everyone. All funnels, however, follow the exact same principles to get them to work. Right, that is why I focus on principles. So for example, if you're making 100K per month and you have killer client case studies, you can run a VSL funnel and you can build an organic content machine, right, by just hiring like a media team or something and just posting. And that is going to do insanely well, okay, because you have the leverage to do so. All right, but if you haven't signed your first client already, you're going to have to do outbound while building your brand. Okay, that is just how it is. And I'll break down all the systems, literally every single funnel that you can run and that we run and that I recommend you run, fully in depth. I'll literally show you the ads that we're running right now, that we personally use. I'll do that in just a second. But first of all, here's a simplified framework that will help you determine the acquisition system that I recommend you run. Okay, when you're starting out, you got to do outbound, okay, plus posting content at the same time, right? So building your brand at the same time. Building your brand will help a lot with outbound. Obviously, these two work hand in hand. When you're starting out, like, what else are you going to do? You're not going to run an ad because you have no leverage. And before organic works, it's going to take some time. Okay, so you're probably going to have to do outbound. Okay, but what you want to do is you want to get client results as fast as possible to establish proof of concept and product market fit. Make sure that people actually want what you're selling and that you are being heard in the marketplace, that you're not being commoditized. And then as soon as you have that, you want to move to inbound. Okay, this requires less of your time and attention so that you can focus on getting insane client results, being an actual coach instead of being a marketer, and you can focus on scaling. Okay, and by inbound, I mean moving to paid advertising where your clients come to you instead of you having to go out and chase them. Okay, and then after you have ads printing, then you build an organic content machine, become someone like Hormozi, like Iman Gaji, like Wes Watson, who, I mean, although these guys are still running ads, organic is more than enough to fuel their growth. Okay, because they've built up that machine because they went through these stages. Okay, and now I'm going to break down these three systems. So cold outbound and ads. Since content has already been covered, I recommend you scroll back up, or you rewind this video if that's all you want to do for client acquisition right now, if you haven't signed your first client yet. And you want to do content. However, I still recommend you pair with outbound. But if you really just want to do content, then go back to the part where we talked about content. But right now I'm going to break down cold outbound and then all of our ads funnels. Okay, so let's get into it. This is going to be very, very fun. So starting off with cold outbound. Okay, when you're a beginner, this is all you can do. You can either spend years and months building your brand, scrambling for inbound leads, just doing content, or you can hammer cold outbound to immediately validate your offer, sign a couple of clients, and then you can scale. Okay, I know that I'd definitely rather take Route 2. Okay, this will be the way that you establish product market fit, that you establish that people are actually listening to you in the marketplace, and that people want what you're selling and that they're willing to pay for it. Okay, but here's the trick. You want to be posting content at the very same time as you're doing cold outbound. We don't want to end up in a position where we've hammered outbound for like 5 or 6 months, right? We've signed a couple of clients maybe, but then we don't have anything to fall back on because we haven't been building anything that lasts on our Instagram, on our YouTube. We haven't been posting any content. Okay, so as we're doing outbound, as we're doing everything here, we want to be building our brand in the background. Okay, because I mean, your brand is how you're going to sell in the future. Okay, value-based selling, education-based selling, and selling based on like the social proof that you have, which is literally your brand, is the future. Okay, if you're not building this right now, you need to start building this. Okay, you need to put yourself out there constantly. Now, for coaches, there are two main channels they want to focus on, okay? That is social media DM outreach, which is what I recommend, and that is cold email, only if you're selling B2B. If you're selling to normal people, obviously, you can't do email. You're not going to go out emailing normal people, pitching them coaching. I think that's actually illegal. But if you're selling B2B, you can do that. But overall, I'm not a fan. I'm going to focus on DM outreach because I do not like cold email at all. I think that it does not work as well, especially in 2024, where you need quite a lot of trust to get someone to buy. Okay, I do not think that cold email is the way to go. If you have the option, which you obviously do, I would go for social media outreach, and that is what I'm going to cover. So when it comes to DM outreach, since I've started, I've always been a fan of value-based outreach. Okay, and this is also the angle that has constantly gotten me and my clients the best results. Okay, 5 responses from like 30 DMs, and all of our closes are coming from cold DMing. Okay, cold DMs are not that difficult to crack when you understand the right methodology, and that is the methodology that I want to show you. Okay, when you pitch straight away in your outreach, people don't respond, and those that do respond, they stop replying after you send them the next message. Okay, it's impossible to get conversations going when you pitch straight away. Okay, what I always do is I do value-based outreach. Okay, and what this does is it not only makes the prospect trust you more and like you more, okay, because you've actually given them something, but also it makes them way more likely to actually respond to you later on. Okay, because they feel like they've built up more of a connection with you through the asset that you've given them. Okay, so the whole premise of this angle is that you give away something for free, right? This is what I used to run when I ran a short form content agency. These are some of the angles. These are more angles. I'm not going to show you the one I'm doing now because I think it's crazy good, and I don't want to give it away because I don't want to create competition for myself. But it's value based. It's very creative and it's value based. Okay, the more creative you can go, also that is going to help you out a lot. Okay, personally, this angle has always 3 to 5x response rates for us. Okay, if it's value based, like there's no reason for you to do anything other than value based. Okay, and the beautiful thing is these leads are way more likely to actually have a conversation with you, as I said. Okay, but for now we're just talking about leads, so that's where we'll leave it. Okay, we'll go into converting these leads into calls and into appointment setting after we cover all these different funnels. Okay, your daily KPIs for this are going to be 100 DMs, 10 to 12 responses, 9 to 7 or 7 to 9 positive responses, and then 1 to 2 calls booked every single day. Okay, and this is not including follow-ups. Right, follow-ups should mean that you increase your numbers by at least 20% if you do them right. Okay, and here's our personal follow-up SOP. You can literally check it out here. Boom. But I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to break that down. You can, as I said, DM me on Instagram and you will get this document with all these assets for completely free. And at the time of writing this, I have 2 VAs sending out 100 DMs each on 4 different accounts. Okay, 2 are mine, 2 are my business partners. Okay, there's hiring killer VAs. You want to first look in your network, then look in your audience, then look on onlinejobs.ph because they're higher quality, and then lastly, you want to go on Facebook groups. Facebook groups usually give you the lowest quality VAs, to be honest, and the least qualified talent. But in terms of the hiring process I use and the hiring funnel that I do use, so first the VA sends a video explaining why they're a good fit. Next, we hop on a call with them, only with like the 4 to 5 best candidates. Literally, all you need is 15 minutes to find out if they're a good fit. I'm pretty sure I have my call script in here somewhere too, so you can also steal that. You give them access to the training because you're also going to want to train your VAs. Here's my training. You can literally steal it if you get this document. Then you have your trial day. So I always have a trial day to make sure that they're actually competent. And this is on an old account. This is never on my main account. This is on an account that if they steal, I don't mind, right? Because I want to make sure that they're actually loyal VAs, okay? And then from there, you hire them and they start sending out 100 DMs per day per VA, spread across different accounts, obviously, because you don't want to get banned. And now, if you actually do this, then there's absolutely no reason for you not to be able to sign at least a couple of clients. Okay, when you sign a couple of clients, that is when you transition to method number 2, which is paid advertising. Most of you guys are probably here. You have a few clients, you have proof of concept. What you're just looking to do is you're just looking to scale. Okay, this is going to be it. I want to break down all different funnels, okay, and all the ads that we're literally running right now, all the KPIs that you need to hit for you to be able to be successful with paid advertising, okay, just like all of our clients have done, just like we've done in the past. After you've signed a couple of your clients, you have your content dialed because you've watched part 1, or you've just skipped this, that's fine too, but I mean, if you don't have your content dialed, you're going to be burning money. You can't just run an ad and expect it to work. You need to actually have a lot of other stuff dialed before ads work. That is why we've gone through literally everything else. I've spent like an hour going through everything else before we got here. But if you're here right now and you want to try ads, then this is the place to be. I'm going to show you the exact ads that we're running right now, the exact ads that have cursed for us and cursed for our clients. And I'm going to literally give you KPIs that you need to follow. Well, that, obviously you don't need to follow them, right? But KPIs that are going to make sure that you're actually being profitable with your ads and make sure you're not burning money. And now, paid advertising is obviously a very broad term, but the same principles apply across different tactics. Okay, since the type of ads we're going to run are going to depend very heavily on your points of leverage, I can't give you a single funnel you should run, but I can break down every single one. Okay, which is what I'm going to do. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the information that you need in order to choose the funnel that you're going to be the best off with. Okay, for the platform, we do paid advertising on Instagram. There's no reason to do advertising anywhere else, especially if you're already building your brand on Instagram. Most people focus on Instagram to go there anyway, so that's one reason. 2 is almost every prospect you can imagine is on Instagram. 3 is you can use your profile as an asset when you're running ads, which we're going to want to do to build that trust. 4 is it has stories, which are super powerful. 6 or 5, I don't even know. There are so many reasons, but you have story highlights, another crucial element, right, which allows you to build instant trust with a prospect. It allows for easy one-on-one conversations through DMs. And then lastly, Meta is the most powerful advertising engine on earth right now. Okay, that is the advertising engine that we're going to want to use. Okay, now there are a few different funnels that I recommend using on Instagram, but before I show them to you, you need to understand the basic overview of any funnel. Okay, the way we're going to be structuring every single thing we do, right, is we're going to have a value-based ad. Okay, it's going to be on Instagram. It's going to be value-based. We're going to be offering some form of lead magnet. It's going to be super low friction. Okay, people are going to consume the lead magnet. From the lead magnet, they're going to enter our content matrix, which I showed you guys before. I'll also show it to you guys again later. But these people are going to start consuming a lot of our content, start watching our brand, start getting more familiar with us through time. And then as they start consuming our content, we can reach out on Instagram. We can reach out through SMS because we're going to collect that data at some point. And we can reach out one-on-one, pushing the prospect to the call. Then you're going to get on the call. Then you're going to close. Okay, this is the basic structure for any funnel that we ever run. Now here is a bit of a more in-depth breakdown. You can read this if you like, but basically, as I said, a value-based ad. Direct response doesn't work anymore. By the way, this year I know a lot of people who are wasting a lot of money on direct response. They come to me, they tell me that they're wasting a lot of money, then they switch to a value-based ad and they start getting like a 4 to 5x ROAS immediately. Okay, so it's clear that this is the route you want to go. If you just have an ad and you run it straight to a call, you're just like, hey, book a call with me if you want this outcome, it doesn't really work anymore. You have to build way more trust. Okay, you have to actually try harder if you want to get really good results. Okay, so value-based ad, content asset, setting flows, and then you jump on the call. Okay, that's the basic overview. But now that you understand that, we're going to jump into concrete examples of funnels. Okay, I want to break down DM ads. After we break down DM ads, I want to break down optimized follower ads, which are basically follower ads but on crack, because I've actually, tested to add a bunch of stuff to this funnel that just makes it work way better than your standard follower ads do. And then that is basically what we're going to cover, since these are 2 main funnels, and these are the main ones that I've implemented and that I've experimented with, that I feel comfortable really giving my expertise about. Okay, we obviously run different funnels, but these are the 2 main that you're going to want to run based on if you are in that range that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, like 0 to 10, well not 0, like 1 to 2K to 10K to 15K per month. If you're there, you're going to want to run one of these 2 funnels for sure. Okay, the first one being DM ads. Okay, and these are literally ads that you run to get DMs. Okay, people are going to DM you, you're going to give them a resource, and then you are going to start a conversation with them, and then you are going to book them in on a call. Okay, but we'll get into booking them on a call in a little bit. Okay, this is basically how they work. Here's a resource, you start a conversation with them. Okay, very, very simple. Your ad is going to be extremely frictionless, offering to solve your market's biggest pain points for completely free. Okay, every lead is going to be an immediate conversation with a prospect that has the problem your product solves, and then you can literally start appointment setting them and get them on a call. Okay, while the sales asset that you give them will serve as the entry point into your world and start converting them on complete autopilot. Okay, this is actually an asset that I used to send out for back when I actually ran DM ads. Now I'm running something different, but I can go into that in another video. But basically, this is actually the asset that I sent. As you can see, it's absolutely massive. And it has, it redirects the prospect into all sorts of different YouTube videos, all sorts of different free assets. There's a bunch of stuff in here. Okay. And that is what I give it out, right? Because it separates me from everybody else who literally just sends like horrible, like 10-minute long YouTube VSLs. Nobody's going to buy off that. Okay, you may as well just run a direct response ad and burn your money that way. Okay, but examples of the ads we use, this is one from my business partner Camille, this is one from me, this is a video one that I'm not going to play, but it's here. If you want it, DM me. And then here are the KPIs. Okay, the minimum KPIs to shoot for this type of ad is, let's say you spend $1,000, you want to start a minimum of 100 conversations that are qualified. Okay, so $10 for a qualified conversation in your DMs. You want to book at least 20 calls. Okay, so a 20% conversion rate from when a qualified lead responds to you to the booking them on a call, which is about 50 per call. In the B2B market, this can range up to like 50 to $100 a call, and you're still going to be doing well. But for the B2C market, this is definitely what you want to be shooting for. And then from there, you close a 25% and you get a $200 cost of acquisition, and you cash collect anywhere from 7.5K to 30K based on your offer ticket. Okay, these are the KPIs you want to shoot for. And this is without considering the long-term nurturing effect of this funnel as people stay in your world and they bounce around in your content matrix because you've actually given them this asset and you have them in your DMs. You can keep retargeting them. You can keep sending out different assets in the DMs, and these people do eventually convert. I have people who convert after like 3 to 4 months and they're like, yo, let's hop on a call tomorrow, right? Because they are so warmed up from just consuming content, and you can't even see that they're consuming the content. You think they're a lost lead, and then they just end up buying for some reason. Okay, it's crazy. Here, my business partner Camille did a breakdown of our ads manager on one of our clients. And the breakdown of the whole entire funnel.
Sales calls. So
here's he went really deep in here. He went like the ads manager. He went into our client's Go High Level calendar and everything. So if you want to check that out, go check out this video. And it's basically an inside look into what we're doing for one of our clients. Okay. But second funnel you want to run is optimized follower ads. Okay. These definitely work better for a B2C offer. I'm going to be straight up. If you're selling B2B, I don't really like follower ads as much, to be honest. I prefer DM ads. And since absolutely everyone is selling you on this funnel right now, it's saying that it's the best funnel that you can run, okay? It's getting very, very saturated, especially in the B2B space, right? Like, people know that after they follow, they're going to be pitched, obviously. So they just don't follow, okay? So the cost per follower is starting to go up because getting someone to follow you isn't a low ask anymore, okay? People are getting very hesitant to follow you after they watch this ad. Okay, and you're still not collecting the data of these people. You don't have their email. They're not consuming your content on YouTube. You literally just have a follower on Instagram, which, to be honest, doesn't really mean much in B2B especially, because your followers are probably following like 20 of your competitors at the exact same time. Okay, in B2C, you can definitely get away with it though, since B2C requires less finesse and technical excellency. So this funnel definitely works, but definitely works better in B2B. In B2C, sorry. In B2B, I wouldn't entertain it. In B2C, it can definitely work though, especially when you add on the mechanisms that I'm going to show you later on. Okay, because we absolutely cranked this funnel out for one of our clients, and we collected 20K in our first 29 days. Okay, the premise of this funnel, as you probably know, is that you boost a post. You literally go onto Instagram on your phone and you press boost. It's a post that's scripted specifically like an ad with a call to action to give you a follow. Okay, the lead magnet in this type of ad is your organic content on Instagram and on YouTube. For examples, you can DM me ads on Instagram and I'll send you both so mine and Camille's and our clients winning ads on Instagram, okay? But basically after you get the follow, once again, you start a conversation with them. The negative with this is that you actually have to reach out. Okay, and these people obviously don't always respond, but you reach out with a conversation and then you convert these people into a sales call. Okay, and that is how the funnel is usually structured. But what I found through testing is that although this is like the basic version of the funnel, it's very, very simple. What we found is that there are a few things that we can add to skyrocket the effectiveness of this funnel. Okay, and we do this by adding more touch points to the funnel. Okay, and here's exactly how. There are 4 to 5 main mechanisms for adding touch points, and if you implement all these, trust me, you are going to do extremely, extremely well with this funnel. Okay, one is YouTube. We added YouTube to the bottom of the funnel, okay? This allowed us to build more trust, authority, and convert more people that came in, okay? I'll show you my Instagram profile right now. I know you guys can't see the full screen, but you should be able to see most. Yeah, I think you can see most. But basically here, look at this. I have YouTube, okay, and this takes people to my YouTube. Link in bio, I have YouTube. This takes people to my YouTube. Every single reel that I post, check out my YouTube. Okay, we funnel people down to the YouTube, and that makes them way more warmed up to our process, trust us way more, and makes the funnel work way better. Okay, 2 is data collection. Collecting data of the people that came in allowed us to keep them in our audience longer and redirect them to YouTube or booking a call and market to them whenever we wanted. I don't have this right now because I'm building a new landing page. I literally have it built. I'm just adding the VSL on top of it, and I'm putting it in my bio. But basically, we had a landing page where we collected the data of everybody that came in, and then we had setters dialing these people. Then we had retargeting ads also. This is, when I say that we had, this is for the client that collected 20K in 29 days. Once you actually start to have a decent sized audience, then you can start retargeting these people too. And, you know, with the follower funnel, people often get lost and they stop replying to you for some reason because it's very low friction. These people are pretty difficult to convert. Okay, not a lot of them are going to convert, but that's the price you pay for having very cheap leads. Okay, but retargeting ads actually help with that. Okay, because you retarget these people and then they get back into a DM conversation with you, and then they, you know, end up potentially booking a call. Okay, and then setters. Okay, apart from setter in the DMs, we had 2 at a specific point in time for one of our clients. What we can do now is, since we have the data collection system, right, as I mentioned, since we have the landing page, we can have just setters dialing all the opt-ins, okay, and calling them and then literally qualifying them on the call and then booking in a sales call from that qualifying discovery call, I guess you could say, on the phone. Okay, and that's what we did. Trust me, don't underestimate this. From a standard VSL funnel, so if you just have a funnel where you run an ad to a VSL, about 80% of the calls that come in from a standard VSL funnel come from the setters dialing the opt-ins. And after adding this to our system with the follower ads, our calls literally like 2 to 3x. Okay, at one point, I think we booked like 10 calls in one day and 15 calls in the space of 2 days. And on average, we were booking like 5 to 6 calls per day. And in terms of KPIs, here are the minimum KPIs that you should shoot for these type of ads. And they are calculated for a B2C offer. Again, if you're B2B, I don't recommend you run this. Okay, spend $1,000 once again to compare with the DM ads. Cost per qualified follower $1 to $3. Conversation started. Depending on the cost per qualified follower, this is going to vary a lot. Okay, but it's going to be from $333 to $1,000. $10 cost per qualified lead. Okay. Qualified lead responses. Not all followers will be qualified. Okay, let's just say that. I don't even know what this is. I think this is like a third. Yes, let's just say a third of these, or a quarter is qualified, because a lot of followers aren't qualified. Okay, so this is basically cost per qualifier pretty much. This is about how many conversations we want to be having. This is how many calls we're going to be booking. And this is how much we're going to close. And we're going to collect from 4.5 to 20K based on your offer ticket and if you're B2B or if you're B2C. Okay, for a full in-depth breakdown of this funnel, you can go and check out this video. I basically condensed everything you need to know here, but this is going to go more in depth, and it's also going to explain more in depth about how we got that client 20K in 29 days. Okay, it's, I guess, kind of a case study video. But it basically breaks down the follower funnel and why I'm not as big of a fan as some other people in the space are. Okay, that was a lot. We literally covered every single funnel, from cold outbound to DM ads to follower ads, and I literally gave you all the KPIs and all the ads that you need in order to actually run this. Okay, but now that we have the lead, how do we turn them into a sales call? Okay, there are 2 main mechanisms for this, and one is the content asset, so the actual lead magnet that we send, and 2 is how good you're going to be at setting. Okay, and this is going to be breaking down both of these mechanisms to getting people on calls with you in order for you to actually book calls off of the leads that you get from these ads. Okay, because if you get the lead but you don't know how to turn them into a call, what is the point? Okay, that's what I want to show you here. All right, so first of all, the lead magnet, right? The more valuable content you have out there, the more of the attention that you get is going to convert. Okay, that is why I'm pumping out these insane videos. I'm not sure if you guys are liking this. Let me know. Sometimes I get the feeling that I'm rambling and that what I'm saying doesn't really make sense, but it's I've been here for like 2 hours. It's mad. But yeah, I'm going to get better with time. I want to pump out really long and really valuable YouTube videos, and we're going to see how it goes. Okay. Well, basically, when I talk about content assets, I'm not talking about the content on your relevant platform, aka Instagram for 99% of you. Instagram, let's just change that real quick, or YouTube. That was already covered earlier. What's also crucial is having the right lead magnet that you actually send after these people DM you for the asset. Okay, that is what will take them from a stranger with a problem to a booked call. right? What is my definition of a lead magnet? It's a main piece of content that you have that is designed to open up touch points with new leads, which basically means that there's only one of them. This is literally my lead magnet, okay? There's only one of them. It's your main asset, and it's designed to open up touch points, meaning that you get leads into your content matrix, okay? So as you can see, I'm getting you into matrix by, I'm asking you to DM me on Instagram. That's opening up a touch point. I'm getting you on YouTube. I'm redirecting you to YouTube. That is a touch point, okay? I'm redirecting to you to my Instagram content through telling you to DM me on Instagram. That is a touch point. Okay. Also, I can get you into my private community for like that is a touch point. Okay. The more of these, like your one lead magnet is literally the main hub from which all like if I had to literally place the lead magnet, I'd probably put it in the center and it would literally connect all these different avenues. Okay. That is what your lead magnet has to be. All right. And now what people used to do when creating lead magnets is they just used to create like, a ChatGPT shitty generated PDF or like a 10-minute VSL that is complete dog crap. Okay, what you've probably realized is that most of these don't work. When you get one of these, you probably don't reply. So what I'm starting to do, and what a lot of people are starting to do, is they're actually starting to make their lead magnets very, very good. Okay, and that is basically what this video is. I'm literally giving everything away. Okay, and that is how you actually get people to convert. Okay, through giving them enough value that they would feel bad if they didn't respond to you after they got this level of value. The bar right now is set super, super low for us to just come in and absolutely dominate through all of our free stuff that we can give away. Okay, so the new way of making lead magnets is to actually flip the old philosophy completely on its head. Okay, we're going to turn the old lead magnets, which were basic, not in depth, basically just sales letters that didn't lead to anything. Okay, they didn't connect with your other content, they didn't trap the prospect in your content matrix or your content web. And we're going to turn them into super in-depth assets that provide genuine value to the marketplace and that act as a main hub with all your other content that you want your prospect to check out plugged inside. Exactly like this doc. And this lead magnet can be presented through either, a Google Doc, a Gamma Doc, or on a board like Miro or via presentation. Doesn't really matter. Do whatever makes the most sense for you. And then the second mechanism that you're going to use to convert somebody who is an engaged lead into an actual call is through your appointment setting. Okay. Since you have the lead and your content matrix is converting that lead, chances are most people won't just book a call. Okay. Because most people know they're going to be pitched. Okay. So what you have to do is you actually have to engage one-on-one and push that person to booking a call with you. Okay, so that is basically what appointment setting is. Okay, it's engaging one-on-one, starting a conversation, and leading that conversation to the call. Okay, that is what I'm going to show you right here. Okay, so there are three main key principles to good appointment setting from what I found. Okay, and these three principles are: one, you don't want to just ask question after question like a robot. Okay, you want to always use this three-step framework. Okay, you want to acknowledge what they said, you want to compliment them for whatever they talked about, or you want to add context to it, and then only then can you ask a question. Okay, if you keep probing and asking questions like a robot, people will realize that they're being said and they will stop responding. And this is actually a framework I got off of Alex Hormozi. It has worked like a charm. I never ask a question after a question. I always use this three-step framework, and it works super, super well. As an example, let's say you're talking to a mom who doesn't have time to focus on her fitness, okay? And she says that she's a mom, so she's super hardworking, right? What you do is you acknowledge, oh, you're a mom, that's super awesome. You compliment them for it, or you add context. So you can say, yeah, being a mom is super, super difficult, right? Sometimes I don't compliment, but I actually prefer to add context, because if you just compliment them every single time, they're going to stop responding, because it just, frankly, people can see that you're ingenuine when you just compliment after compliment after compliment. So I like to add context. So usually I like to add context. And in this situation, I'd probably say something like, yeah, I understand family often for a lot of my clients, family stops them from, focusing on their fitness or whatever. Just show that you understand them, okay, and add context. And then you ask a question. So are you dedicating any time to fitness right now, or none yet, right? Something like that. Very, very simple. Two is be human. If it's you doing the appointment setting, you could send voice notes, videos, and use the words that you would on a day-to-day basis, right? You can use slang. You don't want to appear like a robot. You want to appear like an actual human. And then three is not about what you say. It's about the information that we need to get from them. Okay, don't worry too much about having the perfect wording. Just focus on asking the right question to get them to admit that there's a problem that they need to help solve. Okay, and I've actually broken down our appointment setting framework fully here. I don't really want to go over it because I have before, and you've probably seen similar frameworks before. It's very easy. You create familiarity, right? So you just literally ask simple questions about where they currently are. This is an example once again for fitness coach. Are looking to get into fitness. Really high quality stuff, man. Are you working with a niche or just a different niche? Just starting a conversation, building some familiarity. Okay, then you want to get into assessing their current efforts. So dope, I see you've been in the game for a while. How's that been going for you so far? Are you using Instagram for acquisition at all? Yeah, that makes sense. Are you finding any luck with it so far? Right, so you just want to see what they're doing right now and how it's working, so you can potentially come in and help them. C is you find their goal, right? So awesome, that's a solid number to start with, or awesome, I see you're doing decent, but we definitely got to scale it up. Where would you be looking to take this business in the next 6 months? What would your that number look like in the next 3 to 4 months? Where are you trying to get to? Okay, those sort of questions, so you can find the gap between where they are and where they want to go. Okay, and then D is getting the pain point. Okay, and then this is a feel question to get them to admit what their pain is. Okay, so what do you feel like you need most right now to get it in order to get to that goal? Okay, and now sometimes I ask this, sometimes I don't. If the prospect isn't super warm, I ask this. If I see the prospect is warm and they're ready for a call, I even skip this question and then I offer the call. Then after we have that pain, I offer the call. As you can see, I don't send any assets in the appointment setting process. I don't like to do that because I notice that when I send assets, people stop responding. I'd rather just book the call and then send the asset before the call after they actually book. I've noticed way better results with that. So I just offer the call, right? We're not going to be asking them for anything here. We want to position the call as a source of value, right? I hear you. That was my main struggle. Once again, building context, right? I could totally walk you through our process as to how we got past that if you'd like. Yeah, I definitely agree, right? So we are acknowledging what they said. Where was that? Acknowledging what they said. Most of my clients typically face the same issue. Adding context. Are you free to connect sometime these days? I could definitely walk you through the systems used to help coaches sign more clients if you're open to it. And that is how you actually book the call. Okay, and then F is you actually want to ask for permission. Never send the calendar straight away. Dope, mind if I drop my calendar here? That way you can choose a time that works for you and save us the back and forth. Cool, and then you send. Okay, all right, awesome. Let me know when you book in so I can confirm. That is basically how you appointment set. Okay, following this process, you will get everything you need in order to book the call, and there will be no reason why you can't book the call. Okay, after you follow this framework for a while, you will start to naturally see how you can experiment with it and how you can, adjust particular conversations or adjust the script for particular conversations or particular scenarios to, just make the appointment setting way more effective and way easier for you. But for now, if you just start off with this process, you're going to be on your way. Okay, so I hope that helped. And for follow-ups, you can use just your basic, did you see my previous message? Are you still with me? Voice note, elaborating on your message, that's also a good one. Or for calendar follow-ups, we're able to find a spot. Oh, my bad, hold on. We're able to, to find a spot that works, and then do any of these times that make sense for you. Okay, the follow-ups are, it's not as important what you say in the follow-ups than just the simple fact that you do follow up. As long as you follow up, you're going to be good. Okay, and then here I also broke down the appointment setting process. It's basically what I just ran you through, but it's a separate video that has some additional insights that you can check out if you like. And then the last thing you need to do in order to actually make money is to turn this qualified sales call that you just booked into a paying client. Okay, and this is the last stage of part 2, right? This is the last part for us to focus on in order to actually close the deal. Okay, and now for this one, I do have some bad news. Okay, I completely suck at closing. Okay, so I cannot give you good sales advice. Right. However, there's also good news, because what I found is that a lot of the way of actually closing the deal doesn't lie in your sales skills. A lot of it is actually in how we pre-sell prospects before they ever speak to you on the call or on the phone or on the Zoom meeting or the Google Meet meeting. Okay. As a complete beginner, I had a close rate of 55% purely because I focused on providing insane amounts of value up front. Okay. So by following the content frameworks in the earlier portion of this doc alone, your close rate should increase massively. And also by having the value-based ad be the core of your acquisition, your close rate should increase massively. Okay, but obviously I'm not just going to leave you there. Here are some of the best free online resources on closing that I've personally found really helpful. Okay, so you have Cole Gordon, Alex Hormozy in there for books. I really like Zig Ziglar. I really like Brian Tracy's Psychology of Selling, and I also like Spin Selling a lot. Okay, check out these books if you want to increase your sales skills. But to be honest, a higher ROI on your time, in my opinion, is probably just going to be dialing in content and focusing on giving insane value before the call ever happens. Okay. Alright boys, we're back. This is day 2. I could not finish this yesterday, this is too long, but I hope you guys are finding value. Today we're going to finish part 3, we're going to start part 3 and we're going to finish part 3, and yeah, that's going to be it for this video. So yeah, let's just get straight into it, okay? So part 3 is how to use automation to regain your time and make growth inevitable, okay? Right now, we've already covered positioning, we've already covered all the basics, how to position your content so that it actually makes you appear different from your competition, so that you stand out, so that you are listened to, and then how to use that to your advantage when running ads, or if you're doing outbound, when doing outbound, but I'm assuming most of you guys are going to be running ads. and then, you know, how to run ads, how to get leads, how to turn those leads into calls, and how to close those leads. So right now we are getting some clients in, okay? And right now we are at the point where the biggest problem isn't going to be acquisition, because we've solved that. Right now, the problem is going to be scale. Okay, so how do we scale this? How do we have enough time in the day so that we can live our lives? And how do we actually increase our cap of clients? Because right now you may have, I don't know, 10 or 20 clients, and you feel like you're capped, maybe you're at 10K a month, 15K per month, and you think that you can't handle any more. You're capped. This is where you're going to have to stay at. This part 3 is going to show you that you actually don't have to stay there, because there are people making hundreds of thousands of dollars per month doing exactly what you're doing, but it's just that they have this in place. Okay, so this is going to show you exactly how you can actually start to scale and actually go from like 10K, 15K per month, all the way up to past 30K per month and then onwards, obviously. Okay, so as I said, at this point is where complexity is starting to kick in. You have too much on your plate. You're managing a lot yourself. You feel like you're spinning your wheels, working all day, while actually little important work that's going to move the business forward is getting done. Okay, this part is going to help you automate everything else so that you can focus on that needle moving work, okay, as well as some other things. So in order to actually scale further from here on out, and in order to actually hit those numbers consistently instead of hitting them once and then going back down, as I see a ton of coaches do, we're going to need 3 things, okay? One is time, so that you can actually focus on what matters, okay, and that's why you can actually live your life and not work 80 hours a week. Then you need data, so you can identify the bottlenecks and then optimize all of your campaigns. Okay, so we need a system for gathering data so we can continuously improve. Okay, and then we need an ecosystem behind your brand that will allow you to dominate your market and dominate the mind of your prospect. So basically, we want you to start becoming more omnipresent, using the content matrix that I spoke about earlier, basically. And we want to get you in a position to where you can actually start dominating your market and where you can start getting to that higher level, not just, you know, a coach posting on Instagram, but actually start becoming a brand that is recognizable in the space. Okay, and these 3 things correspond with the 3 functions that having a solid backend in place fulfills. Okay, so the 3 functions are: one is automation, so getting rid of all the time-intensive tasks that don't move the needle forward, and handling the big mess that you've made, because naturally with scale you're going to create a big mess. It's unavoidable. 2 is optimization, so having the data necessary to optimize all of your campaigns and then continue scaling. And 3 is indoctrination, so owning your prospect data, aka email, phone number, having them on all sorts of different places in the content matrix, increasing touch points, and then dominating your market. Okay, part 2 of this document will be focused on how to install the systems needed to put these 3 functions into place. Okay, the goal is remove complexity, predictable scaling, and market domination. All right, so let's start off with automation. All right, first let's talk about automation, because in order to execute the other 2 parts, you need to have the brain power to actually think. And in order to have the brain power to think, you have to get things off of your plate. Okay, because I see so many coaches who are making like 10K per month max. They're doing like, you know, 8 to 10K per month, and they're super overworked. And I'm like, how? You know, there are people doing way more than you who are working way less than you. Okay, and there's a reason for that. And that is what we want to put in place with automation. Okay, so if you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I believe that the only 2 things you should be focused on are getting more clients, okay, and then getting more client results. Okay, getting more people to change their lives, and then actually changing their lives. Okay, because if you're a coach, I'm assuming that that is why you're in the game. All right, anything other than these 2 actions should be either eliminated, automated with software, or outsourced, or you know, delegated to a team member. Anything somewhat related to these tasks that doesn't require your direct input, so something that doesn't build any long-term leverage, that isn't building your brand, that isn't getting your clients amazing results, or isn't something that only you can actually do, it should be eliminated, automated, or outsourced once again. Okay, and trust me, more can be eliminated or automated than you think. Okay, so actually you do not need a very large team. That is another misconception I see. People are like, okay, I'm at like 8 to 10K per month, I need to hire an assistant coach. You don't. You need systems. Okay, so let's get into that. Systemizing automations. All right, everything that can be automated should be. All right, and for it to make any sense whatsoever, it all should be in one centralized hub. Okay, running around with separate software for your CRM, for your calendar, for your onboarding, for your workflow automations. If you're sending like agreements out to people, you have separate software for that. You don't need that. Okay, it's a waste of not only time but also money, right? So us personally, what we do is we use GoHighLevel for everything, and we actually build everything out for our clients in GoHighLevel from complete scratch, fully custom, integrating everything into this one software to set it and then forget it. Okay, it lets you integrate everything you need and really systemize what you're doing to make sure that no leads fall through the cracks. All right, and this stage is where you need to start becoming an operator, right? A builder rather than a doer in your business, okay? Business owner rather than a VA inside your business doing $3 an hour activities, okay? Or literally 50 cent an hour activities, because that's how cheap software is nowadays. All right, why not a team? I'm not saying that you don't need a team to scale. Obviously, at some point you will need a team. Okay, I myself have a few team members. For example, having some form of appointment setter or maybe a VA doing admin tasks, that may be necessary when you're at like close to 50K per month. But if you're at 10K per month, you really don't need a massive team. Okay, maybe a setter, that's it. Really, you do not need an assistant coach. Trust me. All right. But yeah, I just think most people completely overestimate the team that you actually need. All right. And what we're going to do is we're never going to delegate something that we can automate. All right, because it just makes no sense. It's not efficient. Humans make mistakes. Okay, even if they're super good, even if they're trained very well, it's a lot of maintenance work to keep them to perform. They churn, and then you have to rehire these people. It's just not fun. Working with people isn't fun. Okay, working with machines is a way more pleasant experience. All right, so what we want to do is anything that we can eliminate, we want to eliminate. If we can't eliminate it, we're going to automate it. If we can't automate it, then we're going to delegate it. And if we can't do any of these three, then we're going to have to do it. Okay, we want to do only the necessary activities that only you can do. The rest should be ideally automated or eliminated, okay? Delegated if necessary. So if you feel like you're capped, as a bit of an action step, start raising your prices because people are clearly buying. Get on Go High Level, get on Zapier, get on potentially Make CRM. I really like that one. Get on ManyChat, get on all these different softwares. Start learning about them, okay? That is obviously going to take even more time and attention for you to learn them on your own. That's why I'm here. That's what I do. I integrate all this for people. But if you're right now just looking to go on your own, which is completely fine, start looking into these software and start looking into how you can integrate them into your own business so that you can actually free up the time, automate as much as possible, and then start scaling way, way further. Okay. But now getting into optimization. All right. As Albert Einstein said, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Okay. If you keep doing the same input that you're doing now, you will keep getting the same results that you're getting now. And if you're not happy with the results you're getting now, you got to do different input, okay? Or you got to make the input better, okay? Which is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be constantly iterating. That is what this part is about, all right? And if you're not iterating, you're dying because someone else is. You've probably heard me say this quite a lot of times because it's true. That is how it is. The space is continuously changing. And if you're not improving, then somebody else is and you're being left behind, okay? And then in order to actually iterate, so basically to constantly grow and to stop things from becoming a complete mess where you have absolutely no idea what you're doing, well, you need to track your data. All right, this is a part of business that you cannot run away from. All right, without a proper system in place, if you're just winging everything, you have no idea what's actually putting money in your bank account, meaning that you can't make data-driven decisions. All right, and then if you can't make data-driven decisions, what else are you going to base your decisions off of? Just how you feel, your emotions. Okay, the higher level you get, the less you can afford to make non-data-driven decisions. Okay, data-driven decisions are the only decisions you can make. Okay, once again, this is a concept I got from Ray Dalio. I'm not sure if I mentioned him in this document, but I mentioned him in my other videos. He's worth like $15 billion. He's the owner of Bridgewater Associates, the largest hedge fund in the world. He's super data driven. Super data driven, super logical. Okay, and there's a reason for that. There's a reason why all of the greatest entrepreneurs are super logical, super data driven. Okay, it's because it works and it's necessary to get to that high level. All right, you need to know every metric in your client acquisition so that you can determine where your major bottlenecks are and then troubleshoot those exact bottlenecks. Okay, without this system, you will just be focused on the wrong things. All right, if you're stuck right now, I can guarantee you that you do not have this in place. Okay, because if you did have this in place, you would be able to snap your fingers, know exactly where the problem is, okay, or at least know where the whereabouts of where the problem is, and start making changes to start, to start fixing that issue. All right, you may not get it straight away. You may identify the issue incorrectly. However, with time, you're going to be constantly doing stuff and you're going to be constantly getting better, and eventually it's going to start working. All right. And here I want to go into systems thinking a little bit. The main thesis of this is that the way you grow a company is by improving its systems. Okay, this is a system. You have input, which let's say is, for simplicity's sake, $100 of ad spend. Okay, the process, this is your funnel or your conversion mechanism, how you actually convert that attention, and then you have the output, which is your cash collected. Okay, from there you gather feedback, which is, for example, your client results or the data you got out of that client journey about how it went, what we could do to improve, and then you put it back into your input to make the input more efficient. Okay, so you put in the input, your input goes through processes, and then you get an outcome. All right, and as you can see by this graph, the key to improving is feedback. All right, you need to get feedback from somewhere. Okay, and this is where the data you collect comes in. All right, it allows you to fine tune and make the next go around work better. Okay, and that's what we want to do. We want to get better with every single turn. And now, as you could tell, I'm personally crazy about data collection. I always want to track every single metric, ad spend, cost per DM, cost per convo. These two are different, by the way. A DM isn't necessarily a conversation. Cost per qualified conversation, cost per call, cost per call offer. So cost per, you ask the person, hey, do you want to go up on a call? Cost per call that actually happens. Cost per qualified call, cost per acquisition, all these different metrics. The more you track, the more data you have, and the more data you have, the more accurately you can make your choices based on what to improve. Okay, you get the point. Not many people actually talk about this, but the truth is that if you do not have this in place, you will reach your if you do have this in place, you will reach your destination eventually. Okay, the question becomes a matter of when instead of a matter of if. Okay, but if you don't have this in place, you'll be left wondering. All right, and what I'll actually add in here is DM me I don't know, data on IG, and I'll send, geez, I can't type, send you our tracker sheets. All right. Because I realized that I forgot to put this in here, but now I am. Okay. If you want our tracker sheets on Google, I'm not gonna send you our Go High Level, snapshots, because that is, it's for clients, so I can't do that. But I'm making a separate video on Go High Level soon, so you should get a lot of information out of that one. And if you want our tracker sheets, then you can DM me data on Instagram, and I'll send those over to you. Okay. For completely free, obviously. And then also my business partner Camille, he has a video on his channel that I'll also link in here. Hold on. Yeah, so he has a complete 26-minute long video about Google Sheets where he literally breaks down literally all of our tracking systems on Google. He doesn't go into the ones on Go High Level, but he goes into the ones on Google Sheets. And also, he also gives away the tracker sheets. So if you want tracker sheets, you can either DM me on Instagram or you can DM him on Instagram. Okay, and you can get that for literally completely free. All right, but now getting into pillar 3, which is indoctrination. So indoctrination is the last step towards market domination. Okay, now we all obviously know that the more time a prospect spends with you, the more emotionally invested they are in your solution. Okay, it's a linear graph. All right, and we also know that the more touch points you have with a prospect, the less time they need to buy with you. The less time they need to spend with you in order to buy. All right, the more touch points you have, the less time they need to buy. All right, does this graph make sense? Yes, it does. Yes, the more touch points you guys have, the less time they need to spend with you to buy. Okay, so what we want to do is we literally just want to maximize touch points. All right, that is the sole goal. Right, the whole goal of acquisition is to maximize touch points we have to keep our prospects spiderwebbed in our funnel. Okay, and as you may guess, this cannot be done on Instagram alone. All right, and this is where we go back to the concept of the content matrix or the content web. I'm changing the name of this to the content web because I think it makes more sense, but I have matrix in this document because I didn't change it. But going back to the content web or matrix, this is the concept. You probably remember this concept if you didn't just hit skip here. If you did, I mean, obviously, this is literally your acquisition. All right, you want to have your opt-in VSL, your email, your private community, Instagram DMs, SMS, all these different avenues where you can reach your prospect through, and you want them to be spiderwebbed, bouncing around from one avenue to another avenue, and that way you're going to have the maximum amount of touch points because you just have so many touch points in here, and you're also going to maximize time spent because they're bouncing around in this matrix or in this web, and they can't, escape it. Right, especially if you provide valuable content, it's going to be really difficult for them to stop watching your video. And the more these systems we can actually install, the more reciprocity will build, as I said, value, and the more connection will build, and the more we can display how our product can help an individual. Okay, because we'll naturally spend more time with these people. All right, and our goal is to own our prospects' attention. All right, because that allows us to contact them on more platforms for completely free. All right, if we own attention, we don't have to pay for attention via ads. Okay, we can just make a post on social media and we get attention because we own that attention. Okay, especially if it's off platforms like email, SMS, or any of these sort of avenues, that's the best. Okay, but how do you actually build a content matrix? Okay, what we've already covered about the content matrix is YouTube, obviously following the guidelines in the section about content. Start uploading YouTube videos a few times a week. Instagram stories, I've given you the literal SOP, and I've given you frameworks for Reels. I also have a really in-depth video about content coming soon, literally going over how to ideate very specifically Instagram Reels, what to say in the Instagram Reels, and then going even more in depth into the YouTube content. That video is going to be super in depth, way more in depth than I went here, because this is, although it's a really long video and it's really in depth, if I went into the actual ideation and scripting of the Instagram Reels, the video would be like 15 hours long. Okay, so I have a separate video about content coming soon. So if you want to learn more about content, way more in depth, I recommend checking that out once it drops. But we've already covered Instagram stories and Reels. And then lastly, we've covered lead magnet, which is going to be the asset that you send after your prospect engages with your ad, they raise their hand for that free asset. This is what we're sending. Okay, it welcomes your prospect into the content matrix, but it's also a really powerful asset. If you put as much work and time into your lead magnet as I did into this doc, it can turn a stranger into a ready to buy customer single-handedly. Okay. But that's what we already know, right? And worrying about more before putting in place a profitable acquisition system would be a waste of time. That is why I covered this before, and I'm leaving this up until now, okay? Because this is all you need to start signing clients. Okay, once you're signing clients, and since now the goal is dominating your market and actually scaling further, all of this that I want to talk about right here is very valuable to add. Okay, so in order to maximize the efficiency of our acquisition, this is what we're going to add into our system. So the first thing we're going to add is going to be email. Okay, now this is one of the reasons why we collected data when we were talking about the lead magnet as the entry point into the content matrix, is to be able to spam people with emails. Okay, now email, to be honest, it's not great for booking calls. You're not going to get many people booking calls from your emails. If you are, that's amazing, but like I wouldn't rely on it, to be honest. What email is great for, in my opinion, it's sharing your thoughts and insights, in getting people, in overall shifting beliefs. Because if you write a good email, people are going to read through it and their beliefs are going to be shifted. That's more content consumed from you, right? And what's really cool about email, and the way that I like to use email, is redirecting people to other pieces of content, like your YouTube channel. Okay, so we can have an email where if you actually script it out well, if you're good at copywriting, or if you have somebody else script it out for you, if it's scripted out well, it's going to shift a belief, and then it's going to be like, if you want to learn more about this, or if you want to learn what the one secret that I've been hyping up throughout the entire email is, watch this video. And then you redirect to your YouTube channel, and now you have just successfully completed one of these little zags in the content web. Okay, so that's email, right? 2 is SMS. All right, SMS is great if you are fast. All right, but the great news is that we can automate this process. Okay, so we can literally SMS people as soon as they opt in. All right, and then also we can call people as soon as they opt in. If you have setters in place. All right, it's a great place to take conversations off of social media and introduce a way more personal touch. And using a phone number you get from your prospects correctly can 2 to 3x your return on ads depending on the funnel that you're running. The next thing that we're going to be using is going to be our social media DMs. Okay, any engagement is a chance or an opportunity to start a conversation. All right, and if you prioritize the value-based approach, no one will have a problem that you're reaching out, and in fact they'll actually appreciate it. If you reach out without the sole intent of selling someone something, but you reach out with the intent of giving them value first, then getting to know their problems, then inviting them over to a call, okay, and positioning the call as value, nobody will think you're salesy. Okay, they will actually appreciate you reaching out and will be more than happy to talk to you. All right, and that is the way that we're gonna structure these DMs, and that is also what I've described earlier when I went over cold outbound, and it's what I've described when going over our appointment setting process when I talked about converting engaged leads into calls. And for your basic content matrix, this is really all you need. What else do I have here? I also have private community. I'm making a separate video on Skool. Once again, it's going to be a huge video on Skool, how to use Skool to get clients. But I recommend that if you're already getting clients, you have traction, you have people that are consuming your stuff every day, I do recommend you create a community. I personally don't have one yet, but I'm very heavily thinking about creating one. Just not sure if I want to divide my attention at this point in time. But I think a community is great. And I think it can be really valuable to have one. So creating your community, that's also one thing. If you're going to create a community, as a bit of an insight, I'd make it free. I'd give away a free course in the community, get as many people in the community, make it super, super valuable, and then you reach out to everybody in the community and then you book them on a call, okay? If you do this right, you can get like at least 10 to 20% of people who join the community on an initial call with you, okay? Which is crazy, which is super, super powerful. Next thing is an opt-in VSL. If you look at my Instagram, I still didn't add it, but I'm going to add it later today. I just finished my VSL yesterday. It's up on YouTube now, and I'm going to place it on a landing page and then put the landing page in my bio. But also having an VSL on a landing page that people opt in for. They give you their email, their phone number, right? And then they watch the VSL. That is also great. And then what else are we missing? I think we're missing something. We're not missing something. That is everything. You have your lead magnet, you have your Instagram content, YouTube, SMS, Instagram DMs, private community, email. All right, that is the basic content matrix. You can obviously add more to it. However, this is more than enough, and this will give you your best shot at converting someone as fast as possible and getting them to trust you as much as possible so they pay you the most amount of money possible and they become the best client and they get amazing results and you change their life. Okay, that is the framework. Okay, that is the content matrix. All right, now this is probably one of the last things I want to touch on because I think we're almost done with this entire document, but it's owning attention. All right, if you look at some of the richest companies in the world, like Meta, worth 1.2 trillion, Alphabet, worth 1.9 trillion, I think actually more now potentially, Amazon, worth 1.76 trillion. The reason they're so powerful and so rich is because of one factor. Okay, they own our attention, right? They own the platform that we consume our content on. Okay, Alphabet, aka Google, owns YouTube. They own this platform. All right. So what we want to do, they literally own attention, right? So what we want to do is we want to copy them and we want to own our own attention. Okay, posting on YouTube, posting on Instagram, that's cool and all, right? And you will get attention from that. However, that's still Google's attention. They still sell that attention by showing you different sort of ads, and they make money from that. Okay, we want to own our own attention, and that is by taking these people off of the social media platforms and into our private communities, okay? Because that is probably Skool is the least sort of centralized, I guess, social media, if you can call it a social media, out of the social medias that exist, okay? Because there's no real ads on Skool. It's literally your community, okay? There's also platforms where you can white label your communities. Okay, that is how you actually own that attention. Okay, and then especially also SMS and email. Those are great. Okay, because your Instagram goes down, you're done. And I've had my Instagram been taken down without me breaking any rules. Okay, Instagram just takes down pages because they want to. Okay, and they may not give it back. I got mine back. I didn't get one account back. I got the other back. Okay, so it's really weird. Okay, but we don't want to be put in such a vulnerable position when we are literally at mercy to Meta because we don't own our own attention. Okay, if you look at even just investor logic. Okay, no investor is going to buy a business if that business runs solely on Instagram, and if you lose your Instagram page, you basically lose your business. Okay, no investor is going to invest in that sort of business because that business doesn't have value. Okay, it's too much concentration risk. And at this level, once you're getting clients, once you're starting to scale, we want to start thinking about this sort of stuff. Okay, so we want to own attention. And just to put this into perspective, Meta made $116 billion from advertising. Never mind, that's their full revenue. 98% of that was from advertising. Okay, so over $100 billion Meta made from advertising last year. Okay, and what is advertising? It's literally selling our data to advertisers so that they can advertise to us. Okay, Meta made over $110 billion last year from owning our data. All right, that is how powerful this is. And all the biggest companies in the world right now, they're focusing on that. Okay, if you look at Amazon, they've created a massive ecosystem where nowadays they literally sell anything you could ever need. Okay, it's because you understand the importance of having a massive ecosystem, trapping the prospect in that ecosystem, kind of like the content matrix. And they understand the importance of having that customer there and owning that attention. Okay, and being able to present the customer with any sort of input, any sort of content that they want to present to that customer, they can present to them at any time for completely free. Okay, that is why it's powerful because they literally control what we consume. All right, and we want to do the exact same thing. All right, so think about how you can become the next Meta. Right, start collecting data, start getting people off the platform, start building your content matrix. All right, and then the last thing that is super important is avoiding noise. Okay, which I want to also touch on because at this point it's super important to start actually thinking about this. All right, maximizing touch points and owning attention will not only make prospects make buying decisions quicker and spend more with you, but it will also help you stand out from all the noise that exists on platforms like Instagram, on platforms like Facebook, or platforms like Twitter. Okay, think about it. Your prospect is probably following like 20 of your competitors right now, probably more, right? And they see 10 stories from each one of those guys every single day. That's 200 stories. They see one reel each from those guys every single day. That's 20 more Instagram reels, right? They may see a YouTube video from one of them. That's a YouTube video. They're consuming so much content from so many different people. How do you stand out? Okay, you got to have more touch points and more time. And the way you do that is through the content matrix, through owning data. All right, boys, and that is it. That is it from this video. Lastly, I want to summarize because we covered a shit ton of information. So I want to make sure that it's actually organized and that you're not going to leave this video with a massive mess in your brain. Okay, I want to make sure that you actually take something out of this. All right, so remember part one, right? The goal is making sure that your acquisition will work. Right, so we dialed in your niche offer, which most of you guys probably had. Your positioning, so dialing in your messaging, right? So how you actually speak to the market. The chart trade ticket and escape commoditization. All right, and then communicating your messaging through your content. We covered how to create both short form and long form content. All right, part two, flooding your calendar with qualified calls. All right, turning a stranger into an engaged lead. So how to choose the right acquisition system for you based on what sort of points of leverage you have. Establishing proof of concept through outbound if you've never signed a client. And I covered literally all the paid advertising funnels that we use with the specific KPIs that you need to hit if you already have case studies, if you already signed a few clients and you're starting to scale. All right. Turning engaged lead into a booked call. We covered content assets, okay, and how the lead magnet is going to convert that person into a booked call. And then engaging one-on-one through DMs, through SMS. I literally gave you guys the script that people gatekeep behind their $10,000 course that you can use to convert engaged leads into calls. All right. And then lastly, booked call into a paying client. Learn to close using those resources that I provided. I'm not going to teach you to close because I'm not that good of a closer myself. But I know that those guys are, and those guys have helped me a lot with getting better at closing. All right, now part three is after you have clients coming in, you want to establish market domination. All right, automation, so systemizing your operations in one centralized hub, which for us is Go High Level. Okay, and that is what I recommend. Focusing on the two key inputs, so getting clients and getting client results, and then automating before you delegate, because you can automate a shit ton. Then optimization, tracking your data and gathering feedback to improve how your system works. And we covered systems thinking. Okay, and then lastly, indoctrination. So maximizing touch points by building your content matrix, your content web, owning your prospects' attention through collecting their data, and then taking the interactions with the prospects off of the social media platforms to avoid the noise and to increase the amount of touch points that you have, so that they have more familiarity built with you, and when they have more familiarity built with you than anyone else, you're the person they're going to buy from. So once again, I know this was a lot of information, but follow this and I promise you hitting 30 to 50k per month will be inevitable if you execute this correctly. Okay, I really tried to fit all the information I could into this doc, but all that has been left out can be found on my YouTube channel. I'm starting to drop super massive long videos, maybe not as long as this one because this literally covered everything, but I'm dropping super in-depth videos on content. So a super in-depth video on Skool is coming soon. A super in-depth video about market sophistication is coming soon. There are a lot of really actionable videos. A super actionable video and super long also in-depth masterclass about how to get clients strictly using Instagram, start to finish. That's also coming soon. Okay, so I'm really excited. I hope you guys are too. That being said, I really didn't hold anything back in this document, and this document will keep on growing. This video obviously won't keep on growing, but this document will. So if you want to get your hands on it, once again, DM me on Instagram. Now, go out and implement what you learned. Once you realize how well it works, come back and work with us directly. Or if you want us to build this out for you, literally, you can book on a call right now. Obviously, no pressure. I don't want to really hard sell you guys here, but this is basically our offer. We'll build this whole entire system out completely done for you. And if it doesn't work, you don't pay, and you get to keep all of our systems. So like Go High Level, all that stuff. You obviously get to keep that. Book in a call if you want. If not, no worries. Keep enjoying the content. Okay. Speak soon. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate you. Keep enjoying the content. Speak soon.